If you're going to operate in Africa, you do need to offer the full value chain. Hi, I'm Mike Witfield. I'm Chairman of Nissan South African Sub-Saharan Operations and Managing Director of our Nissan Egypt Operations.
You're in charge of the Sub-Saharan African region as well. So you've got quite a vast portfolio. But why Egypt? Why come here after heading up South Africa? What was the thinking? What was the strategy?
I think when we look at Egypt, 100 million people, 6% plus GDP growth, that and a TRV, an auto TRV of only 165,000, we see huge potential. We've been invested here for the last 10 years as a fully fledged manufacturer. And one of the key objectives is to see how we can realize the full potential of the auto industry in Egypt. And for us to have a manufacturing operation in South Africa, another one in Egypt, and to see how we can create synergies throughout the continent.
So the whole Cape to Cairo thing actually makes sense from an automotive perspective in many different ways.
In more ways than one, but the reality is you're not going to have auto manufactured in every country in Africa. What we do need to do is we need to find a way that there is a flow of components and different countries can play different roles, because components are the real driver of job creation and value added.
There's no other automaker right now in Egypt that is an OEM. So how big are you in Egypt at the moment?
We're effectively the number 2 in Egypt. We have around about a 14% share. What is important and what we're saying to the Egyptian government or discussing with them is give us the framework, give us the policy. We're ready to invest. We see huge potential here.
How's the second-hand car market here? I'm sure that it's quite big and it's an important place to be in as well.
It's a very vibrant market. If we look, the average age of vehicles on the road in Egypt is well over 10 years. The good part is Egypt, like South Africa, like Morocco, do not allow used cars being imported into the country. So it does create affordable alternatives, and mobility is all about economic freedom.
I'm just curious, to what extent do the importation of second-hand cars in a lot of African markets hinder your progress?
I think it's the common theme throughout, that if we want to develop an auto industry, an auto market in Africa, we have to stop second-hand grey imports coming in. Morocco, South Africa, Egypt have done that very successfully. But certainly if we look at Nigeria, where the total market is probably 400,000 or 500,000 vehicles, last year, new vehicles through legitimate OEM channels was 10,000 in a market of 200 million people. So the potential is there, but it requires strong political will to put in those barriers to actually say enough's enough, let's keep the used out and let's see how we can grow our own local market.